Folks, let me tell you, this one peeled off the night with a thud. Aunt Frony came in talking speed, talking plans, talking future. And then he ran straight into a walking houseplant with bad intentions. Huggable Cactus didn't rush it, didn't panic, he absorbed the storm. Every strike Aunt Frony threw just sank into the thorns. One mistake, one grab. And that was all she wrote. Cactus wrapped him up like a refund receipt, squeezed the hope out of the building, and walked away the clear, green letter winner. This wasn't flashy. This was inevitable. Aunt Frony learned a hard lesson tonight. You don't fight a cactus. You survive it, if you're lucky. Now hold on to your popcorn, because this stretch right here, absolute mayhem. We start in tag team territory where Fat Boy and Gingy came in like a wrecking crew with a lunch reservation. Lee Devlin and Kez Upton tried to get organized, but it didn't matter. This was power, momentum, and bad intentions all night long. Fat Boy flattened the road, Gingy cleaned up the wreckage, and that's a statement win. Singles action rolled on, and the Mystery Machine stayed undefeated. Scooby-Doo cracked the code on Hippie Dave. Dave brought vibes, Scooby brought answers, and once the bell rang, the case was closed. Clean, controlled, and convincing. Then came the warning label match. Bad News Brown versus Burnt Potato. And folks, the name wasn't marketing. Brown delivered exactly what he promised. Pain, pressure, and zero sympathy. Burnt Potato fought hard, but Bad News Brown walked out looking like a problem nobody wants next. King E stepped up next, but Silver Fox showed why experience is dangerous. Calm, calculated, and always one step ahead, Fox baited the mistakes, capitalized instantly, and stole the win right out from under the crown. And finally, the hunt was on. Wolfman versus Robert Merrick. Merrick tried to stand his ground, but once Wolfman found the rhythm, it was primal. Relentless offense, no hesitation, and a decisive finish. When the dust settled, the wolf was still standing tall. Real Rilla versus Poopy McScoopy. This wasn't a match, folks. This was a traffic accident with witnesses. Poopy McScoopy tried to bring creativity, movement, and misdirection, but Real Rilla shut all of that down immediately. Every time McScoopy tried to create space, Real Rilla closed it with bad intentions. No posing, no pacing, just forward motion and punishment. The key here? Real Rilla never gave Poopy a reset. No breathing room, no regrouping, no second gear. This was raw dominance, and it sent a message to the locker room. Finesse doesn't matter if you can't survive the first collision. Ron Yates versus Alex Chase. Ron Yates walked in confident, borderline comfortable, and that was the mistake. Alex Chase didn't overpower him, didn't rush him, didn't panic. Chase studied him. Every exchange tilted further in Chase's favor as Yates grew frustrated and started forcing openings that weren't there. Alex Chase won this match between the ears. Perfect spacing, perfect timing, and a finish that looked effortless because the groundwork had already been laid. This wasn't a fluke. This was a professional performance that quietly raised Chase's stock in a big way. This was chaos versus cohesion. Shrek Dog and J Deuce came in swinging, hard, loud, and dangerous, but they were chasing moments instead of building momentum. Event Horizon and Bull Johnny Black. They stayed composed, isolated targets, controlled tags, cut the ring in half. Bull Johnny Black brought the power. Event Horizon brought the precision. Together, they absorbed the storm and turned it into structure. By the time the finish hit, Shrek Dog and J Deuce weren't beaten. They were outmaneuvered. That's a main event caliber win, and it puts the rest of the tag division on notice. Unbreakable Beauty, Multisport, Ricky J versus Eureka, Steen, Laser Rex, Princess of Hell, official result, double count out. This match never had a chance to be contained, and that's exactly what made it dangerous. From the opening bell, this wasn't 6 competitors trying to win a match, it was 6 egos trying to make statements. Tags broke down almost immediately, corners were ignored, referee warnings meant nothing. Bodies spilled to the floor, then into the barricades, then into each other. What sealed it was escalation without strategy. Both teams got caught chasing damage instead of victory. Unbreakable Beauty and Princess of Hell were brawling near the ramp. Laser Rex and Multisport were trading shots against the barricade. Ricky J and Eureka Steen disappeared into the chaos entirely. The referee's count climbed while nobody even glanced back toward the ring. 10. Bell. That's it. A double countout doesn't mean nobody won. It means nobody controlled the moment. And that's dangerous going forward, because unresolved chaos has a habit of coming back louder and uglier. This rivalry, far from finished. The Samoan Wildman versus Coach Koi. Winner. This match was a lesson disguised as a fight. The Samoan Wildman came in hot. Explosive offense, heavy strikes, and pure intimidation. Early on, it looked like Coach Koi might be in trouble. Wildman's power is real, and when he connects, it changes momentum instantly. But Coach Koi never panicked. Koi absorbed the early storm, forced resets, and slowed the pace inch by inch. Every big swing from Wildman became an opportunity. Sidestep, counter, clinch, grind. By the midpoint of the match, the Wildman wasn't dictating anymore. He was reacting. The finish came after frustration set in. One rush charge, one perfectly timed counter, and Coach Koi closed the door with veteran precision. This wasn't about strength. This was about control. And Coach Koi proved that experience still cashes checks in SCW. Championship match. Bray and Not Riley, winners, versus Krasighost and Nola Ghost. Championship matches expose everything, and this one exposed preparation. Krasighost and Nola Ghost came in with intensity and flashes of brilliance, but Bray and Not Riley came in with a plan. Clean tags, isolation, ring awareness. Every time the Ghosts tried to create chaos, the champions-to-be pulled it back into structure. Not Riley played the anchor, absorbing punishment, making the smart tag, buying time. Bray delivered the momentum swings, big offense at the right moments, never wasting energy. The turning point came when the Ghosts went for speed instead of safety. One mistimed exchange, one broken tag. And suddenly, Bray and Not Riley were in total control. When the bell rang, the titles changed hands. And it didn't feel like an upset. It felt like a changing of the guard. The tag division just got very real. Main event, championship match. Jonathan versus Dirtiest Potato, winner. This was pressure incarnate. Jonathan came in sharp, aggressive, and fearless. He pushed the pace early, trying to overwhelm the champion before Potato could settle in. For stretches it worked. The champ was tested. Hard shots, fast transitions, real danger. But Dirtiest Potato doesn't fold under pressure. He absorbs it. As the match wore on, Jonathan's urgency turned into risk. Potato stayed patient, conserved energy, and waited for the opening. And when it came, it was decisive. One mistake, one opening, one championship-level finish. Dirtiest Potato walked out still holding the gold, not because the night was easy, but because when it mattered most, he was still standing. That's the Peel, folks. Momentum swinging, contenders rising, and the locker room getting real nervous.